This is the first day of SEMA, and it's Tuesday night. Can't believe it. It's already over the first day, but it's been crazy.
You may remember, in November 2018, the custom car community lost one of its biggest legends, Sam Foose. While a lot of people primarily know him for being the father of Overhaulin star Chip Foose, his career accomplishments have put an undeniable mark on the car customization genre as we know it today. And it's no surprise that he was Chip's biggest inspiration. A California native, Sam was born in 1934 in Santa Barbara, California. Years later, when Sam's father, Sam Sr., found another job, the entire family relocated to Los Angeles, but not Sam. At only 14 years old, he stayed in his hometown and started working as an apprentice car mechanic to make ends meet. During his high school years, Sam built his first hot rod, which ended up winning him a title at the Los Angeles Autorama Car Show. In 1950, Sam's career was temporarily sidetracked by Army deployment in the Korean War. During his time in service, he convinced the higher-ups to put his skills to use by letting him repair Army vehicles. Upon returning to the U.S., he married his high school girlfriend and a fellow car enthusiast, Terry, with whom he had 4 children: Chip, Lindy, Jody, and Amy. He started building all types of custom cars. With the help of Gene Winfield, the duo notably creating vehicles for movies and TV shows, including Star Trek. This gig later gained Sam a position at Mini Cars, where he made car models intended to test various safety features. This program, funded by the U.S. government, eventually yielded various safety standards we know today, such as airbags, crumple zones, as well as lower speed limits near schools. Sam simultaneously continued working on his personal projects, opening his own car crafting shop in Santa Barbara in 1970. As noted by his son Chip, Sam's commitment to his craft was extraordinary. At the time, he would be working for up to 100 hours a week, although this sometimes came at the expense of family life. Due to this, Sam's wife Terry started bringing the kids to the shop to spend time with their father, which ultimately inspired Chip to pursue the same career. Sam's commitment wasn't for nothing. His works were all over hot rod magazines and in exhibitions at the time. One of his most notable builds was a '49 Ford Coupe, built in collaboration with the fabricator Don Lowe and designer Harry Bradley. A more unconventional project of his was a version of the Alfa Romeo Caravo Coupe. With its dramatically angular shape, the car looked like it belonged in a sci-fi movie, but still spawned a number of valued replicas, some of which are being sold today. Sam sold the original soon after completing the project, but Chip managed to get a hold of it years later and presented to his father on Overhaulin. Sam had also built a number of custom cars for Good Guys Rod and Custom Association, including a fully customized 32 Ford Tudor, the car featured on the company's logo. Sam passed away on the 18th of November 2018 at the age of 84, but his legacy will continue to live on. It is with a heavy heart that I announce my dad, Sam Foose, passed away earlier today. He was my hero, my best friend. You'll be missed forever. Chip wrote on his Facebook page. John Drummond, Sam's former Good Guys colleague, also shared his feelings in remembrance of Sam, saying, "Sam Foose was one of a kind, gregarious, as well as cantankerous. He was always good for a belly laugh. His true genius was in his vision to move metal around and subtly change the proportions of classic American cars. While he wasn't the first customizer to do this, he was at the forefront of the custom rod movement of the 1990s. In my opinion, Barnard's '49 Ford was Sam's Mona Lisa." Given his father's relentless dedication to his craft, it comes at no surprise that he was one of Chip's biggest inspirations in his own car customization career. "I spent the weekends of the first 3 years of my life at AMT with my dad, who was building their show cars along with Gene Winfield," Chip recalled in one of his interviews. He began helping his father in his workshop when just 7 years old, quickly falling in love with all things car-related. As he grew older, Chip learned basic drawing skills by copying his father's work and eventually started sketching out his own designs, which were later made into real projects. Even today, Chip produces his designs in a traditional way with pen and paper before building physical models. Working alongside Sam provided Chip with informal education in the field of car design, which he later expanded by attending the Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, California, following the advice of Sam's colleague and former Ford designer, Alex Tremulis. Unfortunately, due to financial difficulties, he had to drop out after 2 years, but Chip didn't let this break his spirit. To make ends meet, he started freelancing and did illustrations for various magazines. He soon found a job at Sterenberger Clanet Design, later renamed to ASHA Corp., where he stayed for another 4 years, after which he returned to college and finally finished his degree. While Chip initially wanted to focus on his career and had no intentions of going back to college, his then-girlfriend Lynn threatened to leave him if he didn't complete his studies, which gave him a final push to pick up where he left off. After graduating in 1990, he started working for Boyd Coddington part-time and also married Lynn, who became his business partner. Chip's skills didn't go unnoticed in the industry, and he even received an offer from Ford. However, Coddington managed to convince him to stay with them full-time. This proved to be a good move for him, as a few years later, Chip became the president of Coddington's sister company, Hot Rods by Boyd. However, when the company faced bankruptcy in 1998, Chip and his wife Lynn launched their own product and car design business called Foose Design. This move wasn't popular with Boyd management. In fact, his departure from the company permanently strained their former professional relationship. This bitterness was primarily caused by Chip taking the majority of Boyd's most talented builders and employing them in his own company. By the year 2000, Chip started contributing to the entertainment industry as well by working as a hot rod consultant for the comedy drama series Titus, with a professional car mechanic as a central character. In 2003, Chip was thrown into the spotlight himself with a TLC documentary on his design and creation of a custom 2002 Ford Thunderbird. As this documentary caught viewers' attention, in the following year the network expanded it into a full series featuring Chip as the main star, Overhaulin. The series, Overhaulin, premiered on TLC on the 13th of April 2004, featuring Chip Foose with Chris Jacobs as his co-host. The show followed a popular premise. In each episode, one unsuspecting victim, nominated by their family and friends, would have their antique vehicle fully restored in only 8 days. The owner would often be tricked into giving their car up while it was secretly being restored. Of course, while being the mastermind of the whole operation, Chip wasn't working alone. He was helped by other restoration experts, including Mark Osha, Andreas Samagi, Ian Van Squake, and others, dubbed the A-Team. Behind the camera, though, there were even more people working on these projects, sometimes up to 60. All the work on these custom cars, including all the extra parts needed, was fully covered by the production company and their sponsors, while the owners only had to pay the taxes associated with having a restored vehicle. Unfortunately, as later revealed, the rise in ownership taxes of the restored cars featured on the show was too high to handle for some owners, forcing them to sell the vehicle. In one of the most memorable episodes of Overhaulin, Chip and his team remodeled a 1993 Hummer H1 used by CNN during the war in Iraq. In only a week, they made significant improvements to the vehicle, including replacing the engine, raising the body, and airbrushing images of CNN journalists and U.S. soldiers. The legendary vehicle, nicknamed Warrior One, was unveiled in front of CNN employees, media, and a swarm of fans. In 2007, the car was sold in a charity auction for $1 million. Despite its popularity among car enthusiasts around the world, Overhaulin has had a somewhat rocky history. The first cancellation of the series came in 2008, although at the time, the show was at the peak of its popularity. So this move, which seemed to come out of the blue, surprised many viewers. Apparently, it was the behind-the-scenes drama between Chip and the restoration company which worked with him on the show that caused it to be put on hold. Chip officially severed ties with them in 2007 after the police uncovered the company's illegal activities. It took 4 years before the show was picked up by another network, Velocity, which had previously collaborated with Chip on 2 other automotive series, American Iron, The Hot Rod, and American Iron, The Muscle Car. Then in October 2015, it was announced that Season 9 would be the last. However, in 2019, Discovery Channel picked up the show for another reboot, but which lasted for only a season. Right now, it appears that Overhaulin won't be returning to the screens again, but at this point, anything is still possible. Aside from his work featured in Overhaulin, Chip Foose has continued working on a number of other projects. One of his most recognized works is his 2009 original model called Hemisphere, also known as the Foose Coupe. This niche supercar combined engine power with a unique retro aesthetic. and was commissioned by Ford based on Chip's design from 1990. Chip had also worked as design consultant, tasked with helping architects come up with unique styling elements of Motor City Casino in Detroit, Michigan. A lesser-known fact about Chip is that he had been a design consultant on the 2006 Pixar animated movie Cars, for which he created the dynamic tattoo paint job on a character called Ramon, designed after a 1959 Chevy. After Overhaulin was initially canceled in 2008, Chip focused more of his time on his company, Foose Design, which continues to operate to this day, while Chip himself offers consultations to other automotive companies, including Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis. In 1997, Chip became the youngest inductee of the Hot Rod Hall of Fame when only 31 years old, and has since won numerous awards for his custom car models, including for Riddler and 7 Good Guys Street Rod of the Year awards. Chip is also known for his charity work, currently serving as the vice president of the Progeria Research Foundation's chapter in California, which focuses primarily on developing treatments for Progeria syndrome, a rare genetic illness Chip's late sister suffered from, which causes children to age rapidly. Furthermore, he's also taken part in many other children's charities, including Victory Junction Gang Camp and Child Help, and has received the title of Grand Marshal of SEMA's Show and Shine public car show for children's charities. These days, Chip's company Foose Designs is as busy as ever, and Chip frequently posts pictures and videos of their newest projects to social media. As of September 2022, his net worth has been estimated at more than $18 million. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.